Welcome back, everyone, to Pontus Fathom Hobbies. This is Season 3, Episode 12 of Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon, and we are on day number 12 in Chapter 2. We are going to recap our day 11. We're on halfway. We have Bayor and Maggot on the map. One thing I forgot to do on that turn was to activate the menhir. So we're going to grab this menhir here, which will remove this card from this section. So we've got some cards disappeared. This menhir needs to be activated with pay 3 wealth, and here's 3 wealth each and 2 magic each, plus 3 energy. So let's recap the energy by taking that food from last round, and we'll set ourselves back up where we are here. We also get to put this menhir, dial him in to 6. So he'll be dialed in back here. We'll reduce the dials for the other menhirs on the board. So we've got this menhir lighting the path. This one is reduced to 5. This one is reduced to 3. And as a result, we can add in 160 above this menhir. We've got 160 to the top. 160 is Crow's Nest. We had Crow's Nest come up before. We also have 153 below. I guess we're going to head up to Crow's Nest. That might be the way to go. So we got Crow's Nest up in the top. Fernsea next door. So let's head up to Crow's Nest, I guess, is our remit here. We're going to move up to Crow's Nest. We were going to revert our random event. It says good weather. Your first travel today costs 1 less, so that is a free move. We do a blue encounter card when we enter this area, and we have to do a blood offering and gain 1 wealth. So first of all, let's draw a blue encounter. It's going to be framed. Great. We're already starting out with problems here. We get the framed, find the culprit, prove your innocence. So if we do framed, okay, so let's see how this plays out. Before we jump into the turn, quick shout out to our channel sponsor, Pontus Fathom Press. Go check out our Patreon. You can help support us. We've got bookstore links down below. Help us to play through on our Song of Ice and Fire gameplay, Joan of Arc. If you like and subscribe in these videos, helps us with the growing the channel. And as usual, leave your comments. Helps us to stay in touch. Read all the comments. So if you see us doing something that you want to question about, or you have some of your own experiences you want to share, leave them down below and we can start the conversation there. Looking to grow subscribers up to 1,000 subscribers on this channel. So share it with your friends. Let's move the community out there a bit. Let's jump into day 12. So we've got the Crow's Nest. We've got our blue encounter of framed. We're going to start with, let's start with Bayor. Bayor is going to check out his diplomacy. First off, he's going to add, we do have, the winged one is empathy. We've got 2 empathies here. So let's go ahead and put the empathy in play. That's going to give us double our empathy, but we start out with 2 upgrades here. So 1, 2 to start. We'll also have Maggot joining here with his diplomacy. Maggot is able to do a 1-up. Is that the best one? No. Let's do Maggot's. These are combat. Maggot's deck is 3. Let's look what he can do here. So he can do setting up for 3x here. We gain another one another 2 here, and then also for each point down of this, add 4 up. He added the ceremony of life in here. Up, 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 up. Okay, so this actually means we've passed this. Our reward is going to be 1 reputation and 2 experience. So good for us. We can clear this one out. We get to have 1 reputation added and 2 experience. And 1 reputation added. Okay, great. So let's take a look at the blood offering. We're going to gain 1 wealth from a blood offering as well, but we have to reduce our life down by 1 to do the blood offering. That's our pay to enter. And now we're in the crow's nest. So let's take a look at what's going on in crow's nest. So crow's nest is 160. 160 is the crow's nest. It says, if you have the lost and fallen status, do we have lost and fallen status? Lost and fallen. We don't have it. Go to verse 18. Otherwise, read on. So it says, high cliffs and long narrow bridges secure the most remote city in Avalon. Dwellers of these stone-carved houses are known for their tenacity in combat and dark, disturbing customs. As you approach their settlement, you feel a sense of unease. Rumors saw many travelers who came here ended their lives writhing and screaming atop a blood-covered altar of the goddess of death and crows, Morrigan. So we can go to look for the market. If we have go to the sacred gun, we don't have chapter 3. Speak with Mordred, go to verse 8. Speak with Mordred, go to verse 8. That sounds scary. Gather information about the head of Morrigan. So let's do that. Let's gather information about the head of Morrigan. Let's add together our caution is 2, and our practicality is 2. So it's 4. 4 plus, go to verse 13. So we're going to gather information about the head of Morrigan. We go to 13. It says, suspicious looks and terse answers mean you'll find only trouble if you keep looking. The only thing you learn is that instead of Morrigan, the people of this place worship her 3 specific aspects. Nemain, the lady of war and havoc. Bab, the lady of crows and prophecies. And Makcha, the lady of kings and earthly power. Exploration ends. Okay, well that's anticlimactic. Exploration ends. So let's go ahead and do the dream. So we have a dream here. And we'll flip this coin to see what we do with the dream. It says, let's take a coin. Sorry, we'll take a coin out of the coin box here. So 1, we get a dream, and 2, both a nightmare. We got a nightmare and a dream. So in the dark glade of leafless grass, a crow studies you with a tilted head. Suddenly 3 goddesses burst from the tree. Each has an aspect of Morrigan. Terrifying Nemain in full battle dress presents a cup splashed with blood, as though it is expecting to be filled. Bab clutches a mystic scroll, its writing incomplete. Maka holds a crown with 1 gem missing. They stare at you expectantly. In Nightmare, their skin is pale, their eyes are watery, they skulk in the darkness, burying their eyes in the rocks. Further from the world of light, they sniff and ripple their bat-like snouts as they pass you, wandering lost and aimless in their endless tunnels. So Maggot will gain 1 terror from this, and that's going to end it for day number 12. Let's keep going into day number 13. I think we could keep going into day 13 here. Day 13, again, we will heal up here. Let's keep looking through the town. We'll turn the menhirs down again. So just reduce each one down 1. 4. And this one is down to 2. So now we're going to go back to the top. Crow's nest. We were able to rest, I guess, on the end of the turn. And then heal up and then play our blood oath again, I guess. And then we're back to 160 crow's nest. So we tried, on our first day, we tried to find out information about the head of Morgan. Now we're going to go to the... Do we have part 1 of the diplomat status? No. So let's go look at the market. Go to verse 2. Go to verse 10, it says. Go to verse 10. So verse 10, at the crow's nest. There was no way for an outsider to blend in. Watery eyes of people in this market, just a labyrinth of narrow passages downside the cliff. You can't see anything resembling a shop or a tavern. Wherever you go, suspicious stares follow you. Finally, you're in an alley where a fishmonger sells salted cod out of a large barrel. You may pay 1 food to gain... Okay, so it can gain food. Let's gain a couple food. We'll cash in some wealth and gain a couple food each. And I guess that's going to end the exploration here. So let's go ahead and cash out again. We will rest here one more time, have the dream, heal up, and let's take it to day 14 as well. It seems like we're stuck in this thing. I'm going to reduce the men here again. I have a feeling that Crow's Nest offers us something, so I'm going to keep trying the other options while we're here. We're reducing this men here down to 1 right now, so this one's about to go out in Underwall. Okay, so last chance at Crow's Nest to find something interesting. Let's go speak with Mordred. We've tried everything else that we can do. Let's go speak with Mordred, verse 8. Okay, if you're playing chapter 2 or 3 and don't have part 3 of the Enemies of Avalon status, Enemies of Avalon, we don't have it. Go to verse 20. So we go to verse 20. Grim guards with crow's wings on their helmets stop you as you try to enter the underground caverns. Their lord doesn't speak to petty commoners. Sum up your aggression. So it's 1, 2, 3. Your empathy, 4, 5. And reputation, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. If it's 9 or higher, go to verse 11. Guards lead you through a stone archway carved in the rock, down into the darkness of the tunnels. Staircase after staircase, tunnel after tunnel, you keep descending. The entire foundation Crow's Nest is built upon is riddled with passages like an anthill. Eventually you come to a large cavern. A group of grim people gather. The cloth of gold tunic Mordred wears contrasts sharply with the black and gray robes of the rest. Before them, a screaming man tugs at the chains securing him to the iron post, where the executioner finishes carving through the ribs back with a serrated knife. 2 gashes on both sides of the spine squirt blood as the executioner pushes fingers inside and pushes the ribs apart, like the wings of a nightmarish bird. Each party gains terror for each point of their empathy. So we're going to each gain 1 terror. Then go to verse 12. After the execution, Mordred spares you a moment of his time. He's different than you imagined. Tall, lean, soft-spoken, more of a scholar than a knight. And certainly not the insane brute you've heard stories about. He doesn't even wear a sword. Guards, tell me you came from Connacht. If so, I am impressed. And it happens I am in grave need of discreet, resourceful agents. My last agent was certainly resourceful, but lacked discretion. Ask him how the Knights of the Round Table came to lead Crow's Nest forces. Ask him about the offer. Ask him about the head of Morgan. Leave. Ask him about how the Knights came to lead. Okay, let's ask him about how the Knight of the Round Table came to lead the Crow's Nest forces. How can we even ask? How can you even ask? You realize how all of this is going to end, right? With humans fighting for every scrap of land still safe from the weirdness. It won't be time for the meek. Cruel, horrible things must be done if humanity is to survive. I'm simply betting on the horse most likely to win the race. The children of Morrigan fear not death nor maiming. They drink from the mouth of the goddess and see countless deaths and rebirths awaiting them. Who would care about 1 more or 1 fewer? They and I together can do great things. Go back to verse 12 and make another choice. Okay, so this time we're going to do a 12 after the execution. We're going to ask about the offer. So we go to verse 15. If we don't have war for Avalon, we don't have part 3 of war for Avalon. Okay, so verse 15 says, Mordred smiles slyly and says, I can deal with Ultan, but what worries me is the stab in the back I fully expect from Farshire's armies. In a game of 3 players, one must first make sure 2 can't join the faces. Therefore, I need someone to take Farshire out of the picture in dramatic fashion. I will lend you our most powerful artifact, which can be made the sky fall on the heads of Lady Kincaid's followers. Just beware, this thing can be a bit chatty. He reaches for a small box and presents it to you as the head of goddess Morrigan. So we can agree, requires consent of all players, or we can refuse. I'm going to refuse. This guy's a creep. You don't see why you must support his plans for domination. Besides, who knows what Timberwall and Farshire have to offer? Exploration ends. I think we're going to end it here. So we will pick this up in round number 13. I'll clean up the boards. And it says, who knows what Timberwall and Farshire have to offer? So we're going to maybe head back to Timberwall. That's the clue there. Maybe there's a clue there. We can go check that out in round number 13. Thanks for watching, guys. Check the link ahead, and we'll talk to you in the next round. Bye-bye.